the LA Clippers went from a catastrophic 6-21 start to winning 12 of their last 14 games, transforming from Western Conference laughingstock to legitimate playoff threat. What we're witnessing isn't just a hot streak, it's one of the most dramatic midseason turnarounds in recent NBA history. Kawhi came back from injury and he's playing like an all-star. James Harden still looks unguardable at his age, and it's looking scary. Trade rumors were flying everywhere, fans were demanding changes, and analysts were already writing obituaries for another failed season. But then something shifted, something nobody expected. Are the Clippers actually back? And more importantly, can they sustain this insane run long enough to make a real playoff push? Let's rewind to November and December because you need to understand just how bad things were. The Clippers weren't just losing games, they were getting destroyed. Their defense looked lost, their offense was stagnant, and Kawhi Leonard was in and out of the lineup with injuries. James Harden looked his age for the first time in years, and the chemistry that everyone expected from this star-studded roster just wasn't there. They were 6-21, sitting in 14th place in the West, and the whispers started getting louder. Should they blow it up? Should they trade Kawhi while he still has value? Is Harden washed? The entire franchise felt like it was teetering on the edge of complete collapse. Social media was brutal, and fans weren't just disappointed, they were angry. This was supposed to be the year where everything finally clicked. Instead, it looked like another wasted season in a long line of Clippers heartbreak. Every loss added more fuel to the fire, and by mid-December, even the most loyal fans were starting to lose hope. The team looked defeated, their body language was terrible, and this wasn't just a rough patch. This was a team that had lost its identity. 6 wins and 21 losses doesn't lie, and the Clippers were drowning with no life raft in sight. But here's where things get interesting. While everyone was focused on the losses, something was happening behind the scenes. Kawhi Leonard was battling through injuries, refusing to let his body dictate his season. He missed 10 games in November dealing with ankle and foot issues, and during those absences, the team went 3-8. It became painfully obvious that without Kawhi, this team had no chance. But when he came back, he didn't just return to form, he came back angry, motivated, and locked in like we haven't seen since his championship run with Toronto. On January 7th against the Knicks, Kawhi suffered an ankle sprain that would have sidelined most players for weeks. Not him, he kept playing, and not just playing, but dominating. Since that injury, he's been averaging 32.7 points per game. Let that sink in. Playing on a bum ankle, Kawhi Leonard is putting up career-best numbers at age 34. He had a stretch of 22 consecutive games scoring 20 or more points before the team finally sent him home with knee irritation, prioritizing his long-term health over short-term gains. That's the kind of cautious approach this franchise has learned the hard way. The numbers Kawhi's putting up this season are absolutely ridiculous. He's averaging 28 points, 6.4 rebounds, and 3.5 assists per game, but that doesn't tell the whole story. Over the past month during this incredible winning streak, he's been even better with 30.3 points per game and 7.4 rebounds. Plus, he's racking up steals and blocks at an elite level, giving the Clippers 3.6 combined stocks per game. That's MVP caliber production from a guy who wasn't even supposed to be healthy right now. December 28th against the Pistons is when everyone realized Kawhi was on a different level this season. He dropped 55 points, a career high. At 34 years old, dealing with chronic injuries, playing on a minutes restriction, Kawhi Leonard put up the best scoring performance of his entire career. The efficiency was insane, the shot-making was otherworldly, and he reminded everyone why he's a 2-time Finals MVP and why, when healthy, he's still one of the most dangerous players on the planet. Defenders had no answer, double teams didn't matter, and he was in complete control from start to finish. Fantasy basketball players know what's up too, because during his recent hot streak, Kawhi was the second-ranked player in the entire league. Not top 10, not top 5, number 2. That means he's outproducing superstars in their prime while managing a workload that keeps him fresh for the games that matter most. The combination of scoring, rebounding, defensive impact, and efficiency has made him one of the most valuable players in basketball right now. But Kawhi's resurgence is only half the story, because while he's been carrying the offensive load, James Harden has been doing something that shouldn't even be possible at his age. The man is 36 years old. 36. Most guards at that age are winding down their careers, coming off the bench, and accepting reduced roles. Not Harden. He's out here playing like he's still in his prime, putting up all-star numbers and making it look easy. This season, Harden's averaging 25.8 points and 8.1 assists per game. Those are numbers that would make most 26-year-olds proud, and at 36, it's borderline superhuman. He just passed Shaq on the all-time scoring list, moving into 9th place overall. That's not just longevity, that's sustained excellence over nearly 2 decades. And unlike a lot of older players who pad stats on bad teams, Harden's doing this while actually winning games and making his teammates better. Look at his recent performances against the Raptors in overtime, where he dropped 31 points and 10 assists, willing the Clippers to victory in a game they had no business winning. Against the Hornets, he went for 32 and 10 again, completely dismantling their defense with a combination of crafty finishes, step-back threes, and laser passes. When Kawhi sits to manage his workload, Harden takes over as the primary option, and the offense doesn't skip a beat. That's the mark of a true superstar, even at his advanced age. The fact that Harden earned his 11th All-Star selection in 2025 tells you everything you need to know. This isn't a legacy pick. This isn't charity. He's legitimately still one of the best guards in basketball. His basketball IQ has always been off the charts, but now he's combined that with a refined game that doesn't rely on pure athleticism. He's picking defenses apart with precision, finding angles that younger players don't even see, and controlling the pace of games like a conductor leading an orchestra. The statistical turnaround is staggering when you look at the big picture. The Clippers have climbed from 14th seed all the way up to 11th in the Western Conference. Their overall record of 18 and 23 still looks rough on paper, but the trajectory is pointing straight up. They're only 2 games back from the play-in tournament, and with the way they're playing, that gap is closing fast. Before this current streak, they won 7 of 8 games, building momentum that's now turned into a full-blown tsunami. Recent wins tell the story of a team that's figured something out. They beat the Warriors 103-102 in a nail-biter, proving they can win tight games against playoff teams. That's the kind of game they were losing back in November. They demolished the Wizards 119-105, showing they can also blow out inferior opponents without letting their foot off the gas. They survived overtime in Toronto, displaying the kind of mental toughness that was completely absent during their November meltdown. This is a 5-game winning streak built on different types of victories, which means it's sustainable. They can win shootouts. They can win defensive battles. They can win close games. They can win blowouts. The chemistry that was missing for months has suddenly appeared. Kawhi and Harden have found their rhythm, understanding when to defer and when to take over. The role players know their assignments. The defensive rotations are crisp. It's like someone flipped a switch, and suddenly this team looks like what everyone expected back in October. So what does all this mean for their actual title hopes? Let's be real, the odds are still stacked against them. Their NBA Finals odds are sitting at plus 6,000. Their Western Conference odds are plus 3,000. Those are long shot numbers, the kind of odds you get on teams that bookmakers don't take seriously. But here's the thing about momentum in the NBA. It's real. And it's powerful. Teams that get hot at the right time can make deep runs that nobody sees coming. If the Clippers can maintain this level of play and sneak into the playoffs, they become a nightmare matchup for anyone. You've got Kawhi Leonard, one of the best playoff performers of his generation, playing at an MVP level. You've got James Harden, who despite his playoff struggles in the past, is still capable of taking over games. You've got young guys playing with house money, fearless and energized. And you've got a team that's been counted out so many times that they have nothing to lose and everything to prove. The biggest question mark remains health. It always does with Kawhi. The team sending him home with knee irritation is smart management, but it's also a reminder that his body is fragile. One wrong step, one awkward landing, and this whole run could come crashing down. Harden's durability at 36 is also a concern. Can he maintain this pace through April, May, and potentially June? The Western Conference is a gauntlet. Every playoff series will be a war. But here's what we know for sure. The LA Clippers went from complete disaster to legitimate threat in less than 2 months. They've won 12 of their last 14 games with their backs against the wall, playing with desperation and purpose. Kawhi Leonard is reminding everyone why he's one of the most lethal scorers in basketball. James Harden is defying Father Time and proving he's still got plenty left in the tank. Young players are stepping up when their names are called. The chemistry is clicking. The confidence is building. From 6 to 21 to playoff contenders. From trade rumors to title whispers. The Clippers have flipped the script in the most dramatic way possible. Whether they can sustain this run all the way to a championship remains to be seen. But one thing is certain, nobody's writing them off anymore. And in the NBA, being underestimated might be the most dangerous weapon of all. This team has tasted rock bottom, and now they're hungry for redemption. The rest of the Western Conference better be paying attention, because the Clippers aren't just back, they might be just getting started.